Okay, next I'm going to talk about maxillary first molars. They're going to be your largest tooth in the mouth. They're also going to be the least variable. Okay, so these are pretty typical molars. They're going to be about the same with everyone, plus or minus a few features. Okay, first thing is that their roots are going to be longer. They're about 2 times longer than the crown. So if you can imagine, this crown is about from here to here. It's about 2 of them are going to take up that width of the roots. Another thing is that they're going to have the banana-shaped palatal root. So if you're ever kind of looking at this and it's like 3 roots, where do I go? How do I orientate this? The banana-shaped one is going to be your palatal root. Then the mesial buccal root is going to be the second largest one, and it's going to be pretty wide. It's going to be fatter. And then the distal buccal root is going to be the shortest one. Okay, so in order it's palatal, mesial buccal, and then distal buccal. Okay, as far as another root feature that you need to know, there's going to be a root concavity on these roots of the first molar, and it's going to be in the furcal aspect of the mesial buccal root. So in this root right here, inside of it is going to be a concavity there. You'll just have to remember that. The other ones do not have that. It's just the mesial buccal one has a concavity. You can kind of see that. Other root features, there's going to be, I guess not so much the root, but the pulp chamber. You're going to have your pulp canals, and then for each root, and then the pulp horns kind of go into whatever cusp that they're associated with. So there's about like a pulp horn for each major cusp. Okay. And then other features, let's see, the buccal, from the buccal aspect, the buccal cusps, they're going to be pretty equal. They're about the same height. Okay. And then the lingual ones, there's going to be kind of a bigger, rounder mesial lingual cusp, and then the distal lingual cusp is going to be smaller, but even smaller is going to be the cusp of Carabelli. It's a 5th non-functioning cusp, and that's usually located on the mesiolingual cusp. Okay. Next thing, just occlusal surfaces. Let's see. So there's going to be marginal ridges. They're right here and right here. This is going to be your mesial ridge and your distal ridge, and they're crossed by over here your cusp ridges. Okay, putting those all together, your marginal ridges and your cusp ridges, that makes the occlusal table. Okay, there's a large mesiolingual cusp, and that tends to be more round, like I said. And then the mesial buccal cusp, that's going to be a little bit more sharp. And it's that point angle right here that helps you determine the angles classification. So this may or may not be on this midterm, but if your mesial buccal point angle kind of fits right into the mesial buccal groove of the first mandibular molar, then that's going to be class 1 angles classification. Okay, and then if it's back a little bit, that's going to be class 2. If it's forward a bit, then that's class 3. Okay. Okay, and then back to the occlusal surface here. So one key feature I mentioned earlier is an oblique ridge. All right, it goes from the mesiolingual cusp to the distal buccal cusp. It goes right across here. The oblique ridge, they'll go right distal. They'll go distal to the central pit. Okay, the central pit's right here, right in the middle, and then you'll also find distal pit and a mesial pit. Now, not only is there an oblique ridge, but there's going to be a transverse ridge, and that goes from the mesiolingual cusp to the mesiobuccal cusp. So it goes straight all along here. Now then this one also shares the same cusp to the oblique ridge. The mesial groove kind of goes from that mesial pit onward, mesially, and then the distal groove, this one's going to be unique. The distal groove goes from the central pit to all the way distally past the oblique ridge. And so this one's special because sometimes it's also known as the transverse groove of the oblique ridge because it goes through that ridge. So it starts at the central pit all the way to distally through to the end of the tooth. Let's see, I think that's about it for these. I mean, ways that you can tell right from left. You're looking at roots mostly. Okay, once you're able to orientate which side is buccal, which side is lingual, then you'll go and see if there's any distal inclination of the roots. And then once you're in the mouth, or once you're looking at it from the occlusal surface, you're looking for a large mesiolingual cusp, and then also a cusp of Carabelli. If you notice a cusp of Carabelli and you're looking at it and you're like, is that mesial, is that lingual? Always know that the cusp of Carabelli is going to be on the lingual aspect of the mesial lingual cusp of the first maxillary molar. Got it? Cool.